call this meeting to order. Stand for pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next on the agenda is the swearing in of the new board members. Paul Griffin and Eric Prescott.
Okay, if y'all stand up and come down here in front, please. Stand in front of the judge.
If you want to, that's fine, yeah.
Thank you.
Raise your right hand. And then repeat after me. State of New Mexico, County of Union, I, Paul Durbin, I, Eric Maniscus, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and the laws of the state of New Mexico, that I will bear true faith, allegiance to the same, and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of school board member according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Or so I do affirm.
Thank you so much.
Sign the date. Sign the date. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Item 4 on the agenda, consider in reorganization of the Board of Education.
Mr. Secretary, I would like to nominate Gus Wood for president.
I would like to nominate Jana Lees as president.
I second.
I would like to nominate Gus Wood as vice president.
What?
I think we have to
Do we need
do
to
one at a
vote
time.
on president?
Oh, okay.
You
So
gotta
now we
vote,
gotta
okay,
vote
so
on
yeah, you
president.
gotta
So
do
you-
president first.
Are there any other nominations?
Okay, are there any other nominations for president of school board?
And I would like, you won't do it?
I guess we could say ask that, who would like to be the, since we're both nominated?
I'm willing to be the president, but I obviously nominated Gus because I think he would do a good job, so.
And Gus?
I think you both will be
I think so too.
So just put up for a vote.
Put it up for vote. Gus?
I mean, I vote, I don't want you to be mad at me, but I vote for Janet.
Eric?
Yes.
Paul?
Jim.
Jan?
Gus.
3-2. Janice the president.
Congratulations.
Don't be mad at me.
Okay, bear with me tonight with some grace, and I will review my parliamentary procedure every time.
Open nominations for vice president.
Okay, open nominations for vice president. I nominate Gus Woods.
I'll second.
Are there any other nominations? Congratulations, Gus Woods.
Thank you.
Nominations for secretary.
I'd like to nominate John Tapia.
A second.
Is there any other nominations? Thank you guys for the motion.
Okay. So Cassie, do I need to change my mic now?
Yeah, go ahead and turn on your mic so that Gowan can hear what we're doing. And then you're just gonna take over the agenda.
Okay, and that is in the middle.
Perfect, that's perfect.
Okay.
And if you guys wanna move, fine. If you wanna stay where you're at, fine.
For tonight,
Doesn't-
let's just stay.
Yep.
Is that all right? All right. Okay, moving on. Has everyone had a chance to look over the agenda for tonight?
Madam President, I say we approve the agenda.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve and adopt the agenda for tonight. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The agenda is approved and adopted for tonight. All right, have you had a chance to look over the minutes from the last meeting?
Madam President, I move that we approve the minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the minutes from the last meeting have been approved. Public forum.
So you're just gonna read the, perfect.
The Board of Education welcomes public comments during the visitors portion of the school board meeting agenda. All comments must be related to a topic on the agenda for that particular meeting. The public comment section of the agenda will be the only time the board takes any questions or comments from the public unless we as a board choose to solicit more information from a person or group attending the meeting on matters specific to the agenda. Is there any public comment?
No one signed up.
And I don't have anything live.
Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Moving on to financial matters. The first item of business is the consideration and approval of financial reports. Gowan, do you have any information for us?
Oh,
He's on mute.
we can't hear you.
You might have to plug in those speakers or your, Gowan, give us just a second.
Is it on? It's on, maybe? They're on.
Whose is it plugged into?
Oh, nobody's.
They're on.
Hey, that's why it's not working.
He may be loud enough. Okay, Gowan. He may be loud enough without it. Try again.
Can you hear me now?
Barely. Let us adjust our volume. Sorry about that, Gowan.
Throwing me up.
Okay. All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me? You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, did you all get a chance to look at my report that I submitted?
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't have any bars or transfers for you for this meeting. It was pretty standard. I did go ahead and include in this report, the RFR report, so you can see that those are getting submitted timely. We did have a pre-K bar, disapproved, because wouldn't let us buy a high chair out of there. But that has been resubmitted. And then your, CTE funds, the first one was, disapproved because the application wasn't fully, completed or approved, but Mr. Umholtz did get that, and so they have been, getting that submitted. The audit was definitely down to the wire. Your auditor, I'm not sure why he took forever to ask a lot of questions, but, that was uploaded yesterday. Mr. Impulse does have, there's like a letter from him that he can give to the board. We can't discuss any of the results or anything like that until after the audit has been approved by the state auditor's office, which hopefully will be fairly soon. And right now, just been working on, getting your W-2s, your 1099s, and then all our quarterly reports. I hopefully will have the W-2s by the end of the week, and then 1099s fairly soon as well. I'm just working with Tina on a few vendors, but I just want to double check the status. The W-2s, I was able to test those and get a few things corrected, and so they should be pretty much ready to go. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Gavin?
I'll make a motion, we approve the financial report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the financial reports. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? The financial reports have been approved, and there were no borrows and transfers this month. Thank you,
Correct.
Alan.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna stick on, since you guys moved up the meeting, I do have a conflicting meeting. I don't know if it'll always be, will it be 5 o'clock going forward, or was it just this meeting?
It was to go forward, we talked about making it 5, is that gonna,
Okay, okay, anyways, I'm gonna be on, I'll try to listen in just because, and then next month I'll have to meet with my team and see if someone else can cover this other meeting, because it is it used to work perfect, the other one was at 5, and then I'd leave that one and go to yours, but anyways, so I will be on because I do wanna continue listening in, just because I like to make sure I mean, not that I wanna hear Mike Gordy, I'm just giving him a hard time. But, you wanna, you know,
What
make
was
sure I'm listening in, so, thank you.
does 6 o'clock work better for you? I mean, it sounds like it does.
Yeah, I agree, I don't mean, we
Yeah, we'd
can't
like
talk
to have you
to
here, Gavin, so if we need to keep our meetings at 6 o'clock, it's not gonna be a big deal.
Okay, well, let me talk to my boss, and then I'll get a hold of Mr. Uncle so we can ask this question.
Okay,
Great, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to reports, we'll start with Mr. Umholtz.
yeah, I'll go ahead and, I'll start with mine, okay, I had my notes is, okay, I attended, and we'll talk about it in our, board communication, but I attended last week, January 13th and 14th, the Leadership, Finance, and Budget Training, which was very good to be there. I was with other superintendents. We had Public School Outlay Council there, School Board, Responsible Regulatory, we went over that with us, finance issues. From the legal perspective, we had a lawyer there. Also, we went over our CES, Finance, and Budget Training. I also met with Gowan on Thursday. We went over our budget to see how we're doing, and he kinda got on to me about we gotta spend the money that we have in our CTE program and our cafeteria equipment fund, those run out this year, so I gotta make sure we try to get those purchased and in the district so we get reimbursed. So he says right now, we're looking good. You know, we're concerned, we're already starting on next year's budget, we're already, looking at things like that. And with the number of students we're down, that's really, we're gonna keep a close eye on that, to see how much, and we'll adjust the budget and do things like that. So we're already working on that. Then I did the reminder of February the 5th and 7th, the school board training in Santa Fe. So I've got all y'all's information for that, that's good, and I'll get back to, I'll keep reminding you about that. He did bring up the audit, John came, Mr. Trujillo came to our audit, we had it Monday, went through it very thoroughly. Like it was kind of getting nervous because it was getting down to the last wire. And we started this back in October, but it looked good. I mean, there were some findings, but there were some old findings, and we got responses to them, and we'll make sure that, I want to get an audit initially that has hardly any findings at all. So that, you'll get more information on that, because we'll present the audit, but they set it up to pay it. Also, we're getting ready, we've already gotten bids out, if we taking over the buses next year, we have to buy 5 new buses. So we've already got the quotes, they're in, they've got our name on them.
Short buses.
Well, one's gonna be a long bus, because one of the long buses has to get replaced, and then 4 short ones. So there's 5 total buses that would be taking over, the contract or whatever for the, so that's coming up. Also, on that note, we did have Palms out here a month or 2 ago, or December, and the insurance to check our facilities and stuff. And they deemed us on that, where our building is, that that would cover some of the buses, the bus barn. And we're not allowed, it's called they claimed it a hazardous situation. So we pulled our buses out today, and we've taped it or coned it off, and we've got to have that demoed down. Because that's something that we can't keep that.
The bus barn?
Which one is it?
The one we keep the
The two buses?
Activity buses?
Yeah, 2 buses and the, vans for the cafeteria, we moved the vans from cafeteria over here, they'll be keeping it over
So
here.
they're saying to take that off.
Yeah, they're saying to take that down.
Is it not bad condition?
It's been the way, yes. Yes, for many, many years, and this was the last, so we did everything, they sent me a letter, I had to respond back in 10 days, I got it 2 days ago. I got already a response, we already up Tim, maintenance, and the maintenance director and the transportation director jumped on it, they got everything cleared out of there. We've got our sign up, which we already had one, it's a locked facility, so we've done everything by the law, to keep our insurance, so I've sent the letter off on that. Also, at the same time, we turned in our preventive maintenance plan, which, I got it turned in, I spent weeks on it, 15 minutes they approved it, so we're highly approved on our preventive maintenance plan, so it looks good. So we did that.
What is that gonna entail for like a new shed, like a new barn or a new shed or whatever?
That's on our dime. That's, yeah, they don't put money towards that at all. Transportation will not, so, we've already been, so we'll bring back discussions and things about that, we'll continue on that. Also, just another update on the fire panels, we're down to just one thing to being finally finished. And they're supposed to be here within January 27th. So hopefully they'll come in January 27th to take care of that one issue, and we'll be done with the completion of the fire panels that we've spent 2 years on. So we'll hopefully get that taken care of, and that's all I had in my report.
I have a question.
Yes.
How are you planning to spend that CTE money?
Oh, okay, it's in their program, it's like for our,
It's actually a next gen grant, it's split between ag and wood shop, because that's our 2 CTE programs.
Equipment or?
It can be a lot of things, it can be equipment. I think for Perkins was more for travel and stuff like that for kids, and it was more on the ag side of it. But the next gen is equipment, it could be consumables, wood, metal, stuff like that.
So you haven't had to specify exactly how you're using it yet?
we categorize it, and we could use equipment, supplies, and of course, fees and contests and travel. So they've been spending the money, it's just, out of 89,000, we still have 50,000 to go, so you want to hurry up and start looking, and so those areas and categories they have to spend it out of. So supplies for welding, supplies for the wood shop, so they know what, so they're looking at that, and they'll get that spent. And then in the cafeteria, we redid both the freezer and the refrigerator, they both, and that took a big chunk of the money, but there's still 60,000 on equipment, so we're looking at that, things like that they can get done and purchase. So, we've had that for 3 years, that one, which is ending up, we're going to get it finished,
Thank you.
yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
moving on to a report from August from Ms. Valdez.
Sure. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. For August, for January, our total enrollment is 142 students. That includes pre-K through 4th. We actually gained a few new students after the Christmas break, so that was good. On January the 15th, we did have our second 9 weeks honor roll awards assembly for our 1st through 4th grade. We had 46 students total on our A honor roll, and then we had 27 students total on our AV honor roll. So definitely working hard during the second 9 weeks. Actually, today, Jeanette Walker, I know I've spoken to the board before, she comes monthly and she works through CES. She's a coach who comes in and she conducts classroom walkthroughs, and then she gives feedback to teachers. So I will do that with my teachers, but it's always helpful to have somebody else and then have those conversations with her about, some different things in supporting our classroom teachers. We also, after school today, she did our next session of building thinking classrooms. One of the big struggle areas, I think, for us at the elementary level is in mathematics. And so she's providing PD on that about, supporting students and getting them to think critically about math. And so really great mini PD. My teachers are actually there till 5 tonight working with Jeanette on that. That's free. We get 6 free sessions through CES, so that's always nice to have somebody come and do that. On January the 27th, myself, Mrs. Levi, Mrs. Matoya, and Ms. Jacobs will be attending the second session at the REC in Raton, New Mexico. We are up for math adoption this year. Huge decision to make, and so CES has collaborated with the REC in Raton to help support the Northeastern region schools in that adoption process. So we went, I think a couple months ago, we went to the initial one, talking about the review process. This time we'll be going, they'll have tangible samples for us to look through as grade levels and talk about that and kind of see what we want to bring back to our district to propose and have other teachers look at, because it's not just gonna be 4 of us making that decision for the district. But so we'll bring that back, and then we'll also include the community in on that. It's a lengthy process, but that's what we'll be doing on the 27th. On the 12th of February, Mrs. Mier and her CHS Science Club will be coming to Alvis to host a Healthy Heart series for grades 1 through 4. Her students in the Science Club have been awesome. They'll come and they'll do little stations and things for our kiddos, and getting them, to interact with each other is really good. And I wanted to give a shout out to one of my staff members. So we had our first Ed Fellow graduate. And so Miss Ashley Garcia, she's been in the Ed Fellows program, I believe, for 2 years, and she graduated in December from Western. So you see Ashley around, tell her congrats on that. She said she graduated but not licensed. So as you know, you have to take the test, you gotta get licensed, but I still have her working alongside Mrs. Levi, our mentor teacher, such a great teacher to learn, through, and in hopes that, we're growing our own and that we keep Ashlyn, and can possibly get her, support her there. So she is in the Ed Fellows program still, so I found out that when a student graduates from the Ed Fellows program, they're still eligible to be in the program the semester after. And so we have 3 spots, they are still filled. My other 2 are Brooke V. Hill in kindergarten, and then Valerie Maestas in pre-K. And I know that they are on their way to be, I think, finishing next school year, so.
They're awesome teachers too.
Yes, and if we show the Ed Fellows program, we're graduating people out and being successful, the likelihood of keeping that program alive here in Clayton is just that much better for us, so.
Great program.
Yes, yeah.
Do you have anybody that you're looking to fill with next year?
I've had a few EAs who are currently taking classes, and they have expressed interest, and so the process, I kind of changed that up last year. As opposed to choosing somebody, we do an interview process. It's like a job interview, and so we have them apply, they do an interview process with a panel. We also look at transcripts, you have to take at least 6 credit hours per semester, and so we look at that, and ideally, those who are further along in their program, the better, because then we can see that come to fruition, graduate out, so then we can fill those spots. So I've had 2 EAs who are interested in applying, so.
Do the fellows have to be Alvis
That was my
based,
next
or
question.
can they be anywhere in the district?
Grades K through 5. Yes.
So it could be at Kaiser too.
Yes, in the 5th grade classroom.
And Chelsea, do you have a report on the daycare?
So with that, and I don't know if Gowan's still on, we were matched with, they have to have this certain letter from the IRS. We have submitted different letters to show that we have the EIN number, that, whatever. So Gowan has spent hours on the phone, waiting and waiting and waiting. I don't know if he can hear me, but I'm glad that he was able to do that. But then they said, well, if you can't get a hold of us, mail us in a letter. So Mr. Umholtz mailed in 2 separate letters requesting that form. And so that's what we're waiting on, is that IRS letter. And I have begged and pleaded with my pre-K person who's helping me at the BCECD, and she says, no, it has to be this specific form. So,
Gowan, are you still here?
It was at a meeting, we gotta work on that.
but I know we were having
Oh,
course.
oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm still here, sorry.
That's okay. Did you hear what Ms. Valdez was saying about the daycare?
Oh, is she talking about the IRS letter?
Yes.
Yeah, so we did submit a request to the IRS. We submitted a written request, because I did try calling them about 3 different times. And every time I would get to the right line, it basically said they're not taking any more calls and it's full. So I can try again. I think with the government, because that's part of the problem, they were shut down for a month. But it's been very frustrating because I would call and then I talk to someone and they're like, no, this is the wrong line, you need to call this other line, so I call the other line. And it's like, no, we're not taking any more calls. So then I tried again, we're not taking any more calls.
Thank you. That's so frustrating for our
So we
employees.
did submit a written request, so I would think that that letter should be coming soon. I don't know how else to get it. Because you can only contact the IRS through phone or by mail. There's no other options. You can't go like online, nothing like that. So I would think that it would be coming soon. I can try that line tomorrow. If Chelsea, if you just want to send me an email, I'll put it in my queue and I will call again to see that.
Thank you. It's frustrating because if we were licensed, it would be free, right, for our employees. So,
And we can make money, because you could.
Yeah, but they pay a lot more than what we charge.
yeah,
So what
They
are
pay the state salaries.
they're missing an EIN number.
There's
It's,
a letter from IRS that says we're a school district and
To
we're.
get certified.
Yeah,
and it's not just the normal number we use for the school, it's something.
No, it's the EIN number we use for tax purposes, like when you get on your W-2, but it's a specific IRS form that they are requesting. And Gowan had sent me other documents that shows
Same.
this is the number, we are legitimate, and she said no. The frustrating thing is, whenever I did all the paperwork initially, which was a lot, that was not listed on there. And so when I was like, okay, we have all this stuff, and she said, now you need your IRS.
Too bad we're not in Minneapolis, it sounds like they got the money.
Do we need somebody else to be contacting the PED or the state to get assistance? Like, how can we help?
I mean, how long has it been?
It's been
I could guess 6 months, but,
more than that.
and they still haven't sent anything.
Is there something that board member can do?
You gotta hook up at the IRS, Jan,
I
that's
do
not
not.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's the biggest barrier right now. So, other than that, I was told we would be good to go.
I do have someone that might work. Is it through DFA? Who has to approve it? You know?
No, it's through ECECD, Gowan.
Oh, okay. Is it like Holly?
It's not Holly, she's pre-K, the program. It's housed under ECECD, but it's specifically for the daycare licensing and regulation.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. Well, I'll try again calling the IRS, but I know that, like, it's been really frustrating because every time I called, and one time I was on hold for almost 2 hours, finally got a hold of someone and they're like, oh, you called the wrong line, you have to call this line. And so then I called that line and then it's like, we're not taking calls, so I can try again, but really think, I mean, hopefully we did send them that letter, but I don't, you know, I know that it's usually 4 to 6 weeks is how long it takes them to respond.
As soon as we have that, everything else is in place, we're
I
ready
just
to go.
have to
Last
scan it and upload it and,
Thank you for your efforts.
Yes.
well, they Gowan too, I mean,
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
we're
Gowan.
sitting on the
And
phone for
hours.
hours, so,
Yeah, that's so appreciated. All right, thank you.
and that's,
I would like to ask one quick question about the math program, if you don't mind. So like, how long is that adoption, how long does it last for? Like, once you?
7 years.
7 years, okay, and it's K through 12, math adoption. Is it like, kind of the same across the board as far as like, I mean, all these other states are doing the same kind of math curriculums, or is it like New Mexico's its own thing? Like, how does it?
so we're Common Core state standards,
Okay.
right, so our students are assessed based on those standards, Common Core, not every other state is Common Core, we're like one of 11 at this point. So we have, there's a list, they're called HQIMs, High Quality Instructional Materials. The PED puts out a long list of curriculums that are approved through the PED. So what we have to do in New Mexico, as districts, look through there, look through ed reports, see which ones are, you know, quality instruction. So, not all New Mexico schools are gonna utilize the same curriculum. There's thousands of them. I mean, there's bukus of them to choose from. And so it's, yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
I got off track.
Does Texas have, are they on the standard?
No, Texas has teams. Texas, they're all teaching, I mean, I can't speak, I've never taught in Texas, maybe Mr. Umholtz can speak to that, but they follow teams, so,
So those publishers will make sure the books align to their standards, and they're just like in Mexico. Texas Education Agency says these are the ones you can choose from. We've looked at them, and they'll give you hundreds of them to choose from. So in every district is to choose, you don't have to go, well, like secondary chooses different than elementary, but, so all the books, like all the math supplements and textbooks will all have core, because that's why we are. So all those publishers know that, they know they had to go through the state, so they'll make sure that they're supposed to be aligned up with our curriculum. So every state's that way, that they always have to have the approval and make sure it lines up to their standards for what they're asking out of their curriculum.
Okay,
So they all do that.
it's a big decision.
huge, 7-year decision. So that's why we're really trying to
Get
have,
the best one for us,
yeah.
This has been a great process. I'm glad they brought it back to get our area, the schools, and all these math teachers are meeting and talking to each other. It makes it nice to come back and let each district, because they're meeting, that doesn't mean this whole region is good, but they'll pick what they think's best to come back and talk to the teachers here. That's gonna be, and really get a good feel. And hopefully, I think with the group we've got going, they're gonna make some great suggestions, and we're gonna get the best possible out there. So I'm excited about that.
And I guess we could lean on other school, like other thriving schools to help with that kind of thing.
Yeah,
The
one of
Texas goes over the world.
The good things at the REC is you have all of our northeastern region schools, and so my thoughts are next when we go to is talking with other schools, like we have, who is there, like Des Moines, Roy, Maxwell, Wagon Mound, Mosquero, and asking them, like, what are you guys thinking, like, what are you seeing, because it is helpful for us to have that collaboration with other districts to see, you know, I mean, granted, our districts are different, but having that collaboration as opposed to Clayton just making that decision without having other, you know, educators to talk to.
Great, okay. Thank you, thanks for answering those.
You're welcome.
Other questions? Okay, Ms. Gaither, you have a report?
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. Kaiser has 47 kids and junior high has 58 kids. We had lost 2, but we just got 2 new kids in January, a 7th grader and an 8th grader. 7th grader came from Hobbs and 8th grader came from Dalhart. It's like a 6'4" boy.
Sweet, we could use a
Yes.
couple more of those.
We could. We'll go back a little bit. At the end of the 9 weeks, we went, right before Christmas, we went to the nursing home, all the junior high kids. It was really neat to watch them with the nursing home members. They, the kids sang, they did Christmas carols, they took presents. It was really, the people really enjoyed it. We also had our second 9 weeks award ceremony last Thursday. Kaiser had 16 A honor roll and 19 AD honor roll. Junior high had 2 A honor roll and 16 AD honor roll. There was a lot of people, there was a really good turnout. Access testing is going on right now for our second language learners. I will also be joining to the math adoption in Raton with Mr. Archie and Mr. Maestas. So the three of us will be going, and I guess we'll all be together. Unlike last time, it was split, like elementary and then secondary, so we will all be going together this time. Basketball is almost over. We have 3 more games. The last junior high game will be on the 30th, which is next Thursday. Right now, our 8th grade girls have a record of 5-9, 7th grade girls 3-7, 8th grade boys 8-5, and 7th grade boys 5-6.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, report from high school, Mr. Doherty?
All right. We actually kind of fluctuate between about 103 and 105 kids, somewhere in there. We get some, we lose some. What's aggravating for me is, on the AD side of it, is we are the smallest 2A school in the state. We should be a 1A school. I don't care. It does not mean anything to me to say, cool, we're 2A. I get so aggravated at times, and especially when I'm talking to Mr. Umholtz about travel and stuff. When we get into that 2A side, like our game coming up Saturday is in Estancia. It's about a 4-something hour drive down there. 3 hours, depends on what happens with the weather and stuff. You're gonna play 4 or 5 hours of games, and then you got a 4-hour drive home. Kills us, absolutely. You get kids home at, thank goodness it's on a Saturday, because we've had football boys get home at 5:30 in the morning, and then expect them to come to class. I mean, it just makes it tough, because of the fact that we are a 2A school, and we're within 3 to 4 kids sometimes of being in a single A, so that kind of drives me crazy, but that's another.
Does that not happen with 1A? Do we not have to travel that distance?
With the amount of 1A schools that are around here, we could do the biggest part of our traveling, in district would be Des Moines, Springer, White Mountain, Cimarron, Maxwell. So that would cut down a lot of our travel. So it just makes it a little bit tougher. It's a little bit harder.
I just talked to folks from, like, let's say Logan as a community, they go pretty far places as well to travel their 1A. So
Yeah,
I'm just
and
wondering.
it's a 1A. Logan should actually be, well, I'm not even. Logan should, as a 1A, we would play them as well. They would be in our, that would probably be the furthest drive that we would have, would have been Logan.
So no tournaments like reserve or?
No, absolutely. We're not doing that. We're not going to reserve, we're not going to places like that. It's not cost effective. We're trying to get our tournaments back. We talked about that, last month, working on some different stuff there. So it's just kind of aggravating for me as far as, we had games scheduled to go to Mesilla Valley. We're trying to have us auspicious, we're not doing that stuff. We're not going to Pine Hill, which is, or Navajo Pine, which is actually into Arizona and then back into New Mexico to play. That's not fiscally intelligent move, so I'm changing a lot of stuff. We've got a lot of games that's coming up. Next year for football, we're playing Kansas teams, Colorado teams, Oklahoma teams. Just had a call tonight from Turpin, Oklahoma. He just called me, that's why I was kind of late getting here. Wanting to play some football this coming year. So, pretty comparable teams to what we have. And that's kind of what we're looking at. And I kind of got sidetracked there, so I didn't mean to start off with that one. I'd say 100.
Talk about the game coming up Saturday, he's already been talking.
I will, I got it in here, I'll work down through it. So January 5th was a professional development for all the high school staff. So the first part of the day, we were actually trained in NWA assessment, so we can finally have assessment for the high school, because we have, I know I've told you guys this 50 times, I'm tired of saying it. We don't have any assessment really to put on the high school, we don't have any data. The NWA test will be happening, I think, the 27th and 28th. We're gonna do math one day, and we'll do English the next day. It'll be done in their math class and in their English class. It'll be 9 through 11 will be the kids that we test. That's some, seniors get senioritis, sometimes that tests don't work real good with seniors, so we're testing 9 to 11 is where we're starting on our stuff. And we should get our results back really pretty rapidly from NWEA, which is MAPS testing. We should get that back pretty fast. So hopefully we'll get that back, and then we're gonna know, hey, where some of our deficits are, that we can actually have data to prove, here's what we're lacking, here's what's going on, and here's what's not going on. So that's what we're looking for. As far as our testing, that, gosh, we've been talking about it since August and September. I know we have, and it's been a pain trying to get that stuff in there. I don't remember what it costs us to get into it, but it's taken forever. It's just like, maybe the IRS is running it. I don't know what's going on. So we are in full swing in basketball season right now. Lots of teams, all the teams getting lots of basketball. The varsity girls are at 9 and 7. The varsity boys are at 6 and 9. And then, of course, Ms. Gates already told you where the junior high boys and girls are at. Pretty happy with the biggest part of our basketball this year. I'm in contact with Estancia's AD. We're looking at this game on Saturday. Well, they moved it up to where they're supposed to have 10 inches of snow in Estancia. So I've already got an alternative date. If it works out that we can't go to Estancia and play, we will go on Monday, February the 2nd. We will cancel JV girls and JV boys. Just because time we go all the way down there, we'll be starting at about 4:30. There's no way in God's green earth we're gonna play 4 games and get home at 7 o'clock in the morning. We're not gonna do that. It's not gonna happen. So we'll cancel the JV boys and the JV girls game. So I'm in constant contact with that guy. I mean, we've talked 4 times on the phone already today, because the weather models keep changing. Here's what's gonna happen, here's what.
They didn't wanna move it up.
We can't move it up. We've got too many other things that happen as far as officials. A lot of our stuff is on officials. That's what happens. Not just us, but the entire state. We don't have enough officials that's coming in there. So we've got to work around a lot of different things to make a basketball game work. There's lots of stuff that goes into it that people don't understand. And the other part is we change stuff to do that, and I keep the website correct. And I get people calling all the time, well, this game was supposed to be down. Well, you gotta look at the website, because I don't have time to call you on the phone and say, oh, I'll let you hear this is. And I don't do Facebook. I think Facebook is for knitting programs. That's what I think it's for, all that stuff on there. But I don't do Facebook. Justin will do it for me, but the website is always correct. Whatever's on the website, that's what's correct. That being said, we have a scheduled change for next week. We cannot get refs on Thursday for our game against Raton. That game has changed to Wednesday. And I know that we didn't used to, that was taboo to have games on Wednesday and stuff, and we checked with some of the churches and stuff, it was youth night and stuff like that, and everything was pretty much moved to Sunday nights. We're just stuck there. That's where we're at. We get into a district game, and if we have to move it because of officials, I don't like our kids having to play 3 games a week. That's a lot, and I sure don't like them back to back. Two back to back, skip a day, and then play another game. That's a lot. That's a lot to ask of 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, I think. So we're working on that. We're working on Estancia. I do know that the Raton game has changed to next Wednesday. Okay, time's the same. I think it's 4 o'clock. That part stayed the same. We have a solo music recital that's going to happen on Tuesday, the 3rd of February, in the Wood Auditorium. It'll be at 7 o'clock. I'm not sure who all's playing in it. I know it's going to be some solo stuff that's going on. This is Mr. Victory set this thing up, and anytime that band gets together and plays, I'm pretty excited about it. They have grown so much since I came here, and I thought, oh Lord, this is interesting, and now it's pretty darn cool to listen to. They came to our last high school basketball game. They played. It was pretty darn cool. I had a lot of people say, man, I like that. I like that band being there. That's pretty neat. So hopefully next year, I know Miss Gaither has about 20 some kids in band down there, right?
Yeah, almost all my 7th graders.
Yeah. So in about 2 years, we may have a huge band section, which would be pretty darn cool.
All but 5.
I'm sorry, it'll be on Tuesday the 3rd of February, the Wood Auditorium at 4 o'clock. I'm sorry, at 7 o'clock, I'm sorry. It'll be 7 o'clock Tuesday the 3rd. Also on that, of course, we talked last month about Riker Scott, and Riker got to go to Albuquerque last week and play in the New Mexico Music Educator Association Conference. And he performed with the small school band, and it's all-state band. He was third chair there, which is, I didn't get to go. My wife's been having some health issues and stuff. I didn't get to go. But I heard it was pretty dadgum cool. Pretty dadgum cool. I'm so sad I didn't get to go because I made big plans and I told Riker I'd go and I told his mom I'd go, and then I didn't go. But stuff happens, life happens. But man, what a cool thing for that. Baseball and softball schedules are done. They'll be posted soon. I've lost one game out of each sport. Trying to get games back, it's tough. It's tough where we live. It's hard to get games back. So we're trying to get that stuff done there. Track equipment's ordered. Should be here in a couple of weeks. We're going to host a junior high school track meet on Monday, March 30th. That's going to give us a good run through to check all of our equipment and stuff. Make sure that everything's working right. We're actually kind of co-hosting with Des Moines. When they purchased the camera and stuff, they bought a camera. They didn't buy any computers, they didn't buy any monitors, they didn't buy any printers, and they didn't buy any software. And they took it in, handed it to Zach and said, "There's your camera." Well, that's really cool. Nothing works. So this is an expensive little deal that we're doing, but it's gonna be pretty daggum cool. It'll be pretty nice when we get it done. We will have a high school track meet on Wednesday, April 2nd, just after the junior high, so if we had any bugs, we're gonna come right back in a couple of days, we're gonna have another track meet, try and make sure that everything works, and then we will be hosting the district track meet, which should be on May 2nd. Knock on wood, and we'll see what happens. I'm afraid.
Blizzard.
Yes, absolutely. So the new cameras for the district should be coming in maybe the next couple of weeks, barring any unforeseen problems. It's then just kind of more of a matter of simply replacing cameras. I don't think there's a lot of wire we have to pull and do stuff. We're running on 2 pixel cameras, which is not very good when I try to zoom in and see what's going on, you know, a couple of little fights that we've had and stuff. And you gotta wait till some kid posts it on dang Facebook or something, you know, Snapchat, and then get somebody to give me a copy of it so I can see it. And then, man, their phones are great. They're way better cameras than what we got. So that's kind of an interesting look. I guess I should pay some kids, hey, next time there's a fight. Make a quick 20 here. And then last but not least, we are having a funeral here tomorrow for Rod Dimitrov. It'll be at 2 o'clock in the Wood Auditorium. That's it. That's all I got.
Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. It's, I guess for all the administrators, do you guys, I call it an after action review, you guys talk with your teachers after your professional development to see if they got anything out of it?
I got with some of them. We visited a little bit on this NWEA. I'm gonna tell you, this was probably one of the most boring deals I've ever been through. I will not have this lady come back. It was on Zoom. She was horrible, and I apologize to our staff. I think what that lady gave us, we could have done in 30 minutes. She was in there 4 hours in it. It was absolutely horrible. Now,
Was it because it was on Zoom or just?
it's because of the lady, it was her. She should not be getting paid to promote this company, and in all honesty. So on mine, on the professional development stuff, you know, we talked about it, and I think it will be better when we can actually implement it. Then I'll get more feedback that's positive, because everybody was pretty, golly, this lady's driving us crazy. We understand what we're doing, but there's not a lot of, I'm gonna tell you, there was a lot of positive feedback on that professional development that we had that day. But it was a necessary evil we had to jump through, because that's part of their deal. When you order through NWEA, you have to do that. We don't have a choice. And I think actually, we probably could have broke it up into a couple of sessions, but they drug their feet for, I don't know how long. It was horrible. It was horrible. So we kind of got stuck with a 4-hour deal there. But when it's implemented, I think it'll be a much better deal. I do. I think we'll have more feedback from my teachers.
Well,
So,
Right, so we came back from January, we didn't necessarily have like a PD session. Ours was more of a PLC session, so what I did was my teachers is we looked at data. So we had beginning of your data and middle of your data, and I sat down with K4 teachers and I pulled it up on our screen in the cafeteria and said, all right, this is where we're at. What's the shortfalls here? What do you need support in? Let's talk about data. You gotta have data chats with your kiddos, you know, and just talk. And so it was more, I do more roundtable discussion, you know, with my people. And so not necessarily that we had somebody come in and train, but it's relevant to what, you know, we're trying to do. And so,
but your teachers get something out of it?
I hope
would.
so, yes, yeah, because not all the time, you know, I can go see them during their prep time, but they have 1,000 things going, so having that time right before, especially looking at data, it's fresh. And I let them know, hey, this is what I'm presenting to the board, so I need your feedback on what's working, what's not, because when they come ask me, I'm not in there every day, my teachers are, so that's kind of how I facilitate PLCs, or professional development day for this.
Mine was more on data too, but we also looked more, well, I presented more of what we've gotten at the, math, where the correlation between what's being tested, the blueprints of what's being tested, and the standards that need to be taught to address the blueprints that are being tested. So that's what ours was more.
and I think that's an interesting thing to say.
Without feedback.
I'm not interested in a professional development that doesn't benefit us.
Right. I figured
Unfortunately,
you all
this is
believe
a.
that. I wasn't questioning that.
No.
I was just questioning what you're.
But I'm saying, I've been to a lot of them that, especially, I've been secondary my entire career. Usually when we go to professional development, it tends to be more, Chelsea's age and up to her age to a certain point, and there's very little that actually happens to the secondary, if that makes sense. The biggest part of professional development that's out there today, is in the younger groups there. And that's, and I'm not a fan of, gosh, I've sat through 1,000 different professional development things that was horrible. Had nothing to do with it, did not benefit me in any way, shape, or form, so, I'm not a big guy on that.
You know, I didn't sit through them, even when I worked here, but, I would just assume some of them were pretty boring. Some of them you got something out of, new to this position, but that you, as administrator, set that up, correct? So, that's why I asked you if you had gotten any feedback from the new teachers. So,
And theirs is a little bit better because they had data, we don't have any data. We just don't, we don't have anything. So we're peddling,
it's coming.
we're peddling.
Thank you.
Yeah, and to finish off on that, yesterday I went to REC3 and we had our meeting, but I had to go an hour earlier because they wanted to talk about the cowbell. Because, you know, they were looking for things and trying to make it better and stuff like that. But we do, and I didn't realize this, but we all get a check. So after all the proceeds and stuff, so we'll be receiving a check. I think this year was only $300 to $400, last year it was $600. So, but they have had in the past where it was $1,500 to $1,800, but they're wanting us to also turn in our expenses, what we spend on travel and stuff like that. So they're working on making it better and making it more profitable and stuff for everybody. So that was a good conversation to get started. So that was really good when they started talking about
Was
that.
any discussion had about hosting the cowbell, or moving that around?
That's always between Springer and.
That's bogus, that's bogus.
Didn't it used to be that if you won the cowbell, you hosted it?
That's what I thought it was, yeah. It's not just, well, it should just be guaranteed in one place every year.
If you won the cowbell, you got the cowbell.
Yeah, you keep.
You didn't get it hosted, you got the cowbell. And if you did it 3 years in a row, you retired the cowbell and you kept the cowbell.
I don't want a cowbell, I want
And you can win it back
I
to
understand.
your
I understand.
That's a ripoff. And you got $400? I bet they made $400 in 5 minutes on that game that we were there for, you know what I mean?
It cost them $14,882 to put it in.
That's what it costs to put
What
it
it
on?
cost them to put it on.
I wonder what it is.
And
I
they
know
brought in, it
Maybe
was
about
almost.
28 grand a week.
They said it was almost 18,000 is all they brought in, but that's not, they don't do the concession stand or the program, which was done by somebody
Right.
else. That was a booster club deal. But they did, they're trying to work on that, so.
I have a quick question about the 1A thing. So
What's-
about the 1A, like us going to 1A. So I don't understand, like you can, I mean, you're only as big as you are, right? But my concern is that like we go to the cowbell and then we turn around and we play all the same teams in district. And then like forever, we just play Springer, Maxwell, Des Moines, Cimarron, whatever. Name every little school around here. And we never like go anywhere, we never play any other like different competition. And I don't think that like really benefits. I mean, don't take me wrong, like any competition benefits you, but you see my point? I'm like playing the same teams over and over and over and over. Like, I don't like that. I don't like the thought of that. And maybe like, I mean, you're only as big as you are, but like, I would still like to go play Texaco and, you know what I mean? And go play Tucumcari or, you know what I mean?
We
Santa
still
Rosa
play
or-
Tucumcari, Santa Rosa, Estancia, gosh, there's another one there, Raton.
And maybe I'm pulling this out of my
Texas.
mind, you know what I mean? And I'm full of it, but I just see like it being like same.
Right, and that's why, when I talk to you about that tournament and stuff, I'm looking at, I got Perryton, Guyman, we're trying to get Vega, we're trying to get some different teams in there to come to our tournament to where I don't care if we win our tournament, if that makes sense. I want our kids to play good teams, I want them to see different teams, because I get tired of seeing Springer and Des Moines and that stuff. Now, if I look at it as an administrator and I'm looking at the fiscal side of it, and I'm going, we really can't afford to drive to Albuquerque and stay the night. We went to Dora, that was a different tournament, we went to Dora down there, and that was an expensive little jaunt down there, that was expensive. And the only team that we played that was worth really playing was Logan. Because some of the weak sisters that was down there, when you play some of those Texas teams that they brought in there, it was horrible. I mean, our junior high could beat some of those teams that was in there. It was not a good tournament. So we're not going back to that tournament.
How did we do at that tournament?
Second,
Girls got second.
the girls got second, the boys were third because we lost to Logan.
Is the classification based on the 80-day count or?
Classification is based, it's a two-year rotation. So when you get into whatever classification it is, and I'm not sure if
It's gotta be a combination of, more than likely 40 and 80 of that year, and it's high school only.
so it's actually, it should actually be 8 through 11 is what it
Yeah, it's
should,
8 through 11.
is where your classification.
You don't know where we are in that rotation right now?
We just started.
We just started.
We just started.
We rolled 100, you have to have less than 100 in high school.
No, but I mean, like, we're year one of that.
Yes, ma'am, we just started this,
Yeah.
right now.
This next year.
Well, it'll be the 26, 27, all the way to that.
So we're 2A for sure for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So you can have a team come and then you go, what is it?
Yeah.
Well, the hard part is, if you're playing football, you got 15 kids on the sideline, and you're trying to play 8-man football, you don't have enough kids to go offense and defense. And then you go down to some schools like, I'll just pick on Logan a little bit, and they have 40 kids on the sideline, or 35 kids on the sideline. And they're a single A school, and they're playing 6-man football. That doesn't make any sense to me. So, and then when you're in the 2A, there's nobody around us, because we're geographically challenged, and we have to drive for it. And that's part of the beast.
No, Logan's in the state every year, and that's why they got 40 kids on the sideline.
But they too many kids, Gus, they're playing 6-man football.
Yeah.
And we're 8, and they didn't win, so that's why they dropped down to 6.
I mean, we're not comparing apples to apples on that deal. And with their online school and that stuff, we're not looking at apples to apples. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Logan, they have a good program, they do a lot of cool stuff, a lot of good stuff with their TVs and stuff, and have for years, and it shows, and it just builds and builds and builds. We've talked about it, stuff we need to change, I mean, you wanna be like that, change your stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to board communications, do you have a meeting handout for us?
Yeah, okay, it was in your packets, but would you click, this is stuff that I got last week and it's about the state. So I'm bringing really more stuff in, what they talked to a group of us last week. And I start off with the most important one. You know, you have PEDS that comes up with the budget for next year. And they put into the legislative what they think should be. Then you've got your LFC, the Legislative Finance Committee. Well, they tell me what they think we should have, and it's a big discrepancy this coming year. It's $145 million difference. Like if you'll see on that enrollment decline, they've got enrollment decline, so there's money, so that means less than the 45 million, they're still wanting to, still can give us money. But LFC says, no, you should cut 45 million, or we're off on that. The K-12 plus, which is the schools that go further, or go more days, LFC, they want to put any more money into it. Of course, PED does want to put money into it. So I wanted to show y'all where our literacy centers and things like that. So right now, that's that argument. That's what they just started legislative this week. So they'll be talking about all this. And you have both groups, so you'll have PED turning in their budgets, and you also have LFC that represents. So they'll be discussing this, and it's only a 30-day session. But I just wanted y'all to see that there's argument about how to fund for next year. Now, the money's there. The money that's in their accounts are there. Like, they can spend more than $145 million what they're showing there. And so, I just wanted y'all, because they kind of hounded on this, they said, y'all keep a close watch on the legislators, because they're trying to ask for more money to get more funding into schools to help them. Because they did, a while back when we did that, our literacy, what we call it, the training was, what's our teachers went through the literacy training? Letters. And it proved, they had put a lot of money into that, the teachers went through a training, and it raised our scores for this whole state. And then I'm gonna show you that, they just approved today, we're not last anymore. I mean, we are that, but our Lexile scores was higher than the 50 state average, and much higher than Texas. If you compare apples to apples, the Lexile scores is the reading scores that we get. And New Mexico has really done a good job. And that's where they invested a lot of money. They're saying, well, we need to invest that in math. So that's where the discrepancies are coming from. PED's saying we need to get more help to our teachers, get them more valuable training, good, professional training that will help them help the students. So that's why I wanted to present that to you, because this is what I got, so it's in your packet, and it just shows the discrepancy of where the money's at. So PED's saying this, and then LFC is saying, oh, it's $145 million, they don't really mean. So that's gonna be a big debate. So we'll be listening to that, and I'll keep y'all posted on the next, because it goes 30 days. That was the first one. You have any questions on it? That's just the deficit on that. And then the next thing I had for you on that was the Amira. Now, there's a lot of controversy on it. Amira took over the iStation, which I've talked with Chelsea and stuff, and that's the program we've had for so long that we assess our kids. Well, Amira, it started off, the whole state had to do it, and it had a lot of problems. Now, they just did this second assessment, didn't have as many problems and whatever, but there's already schools up in the north. Now, that Amira, the kids speak in, so they record their voices. So there's a lot of schools that are not doing it. Now, this is mandated, we're supposed to do it. They're not doing it because they said that's breaching security of the kids' voices being out there that somebody could. So, I mean, they've already turned that in back before December, November. We're not doing it. We're not letting our kids speak into that where they record their voices. So we're gonna see what happens with that, because the state has not responded back to those schools. And I know there's 12 or 13 schools that did do Amira. But Amira's, I showed you that their literacy, it shows you, and they're trying to show you the testing, our literacy is going up, which we knew that. But I was talking to Chelsea, it's still not a true story, not really showing. It's Amira, that's just a new program. So I wanted to bring that, and they talked to us about that. They were kind of bragging on it, and we're all sitting back. But I wanted you to understand that Amira, the system, we would be here more. The state invested a lot of money into that. Amira, we used to do iStation, now we're doing Amira. In the first couple of years, we don't have to pay for it, but eventually we will. And I know Chelsea stays on top of that and talks to other cohorts and stuff. So I just wanted to bring that up. So any questions up here?
So we don't have a choice about using that right now?
No, it's mandated. That's it's a state mandated, so that they can see our results, so they're trying to compare, and that's what they did with this, showing that all the schools did have our literacy, which we knew the literacy was improved, because they had some of that good training for no letters. Not a lot of states was doing all those things, that's, that's good. So, and then another thing I put in was just to show you again the school report card. We click on the school report card, it's the same, we've already gone over this, but they put a little bit more detail in. Ours looks good, because as you can tell, we have the two spotlighted schools and 2 traditional. And I'm with the group, the REC3, and a lot of us have traditional. So I'm very proud for our school in this area and for the state. Of course, my goal, and I know it's our administrators' goal, we want to be spotlighted on all 4 schools. So that's our goal, we're going to continue working towards that. But that came out, and the state kind of pushed that. So I just want to let you know that y'all see this information. And then the next month's meeting, you're going to get a lot on our assessment, and we get more details about that. We compare this to this, and how we've improved.
Chelsea kind of explained it to me one time that it's, there's it shows on here that a lot of other things just besides your test scores go into this, like, for one, attendance, right? And that's like what hurts maybe some of the most sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Graduation rates and things like that. So there's a lot more that goes into just in the grades.
Yes, I thought it was just like test scores
Nope.
forever.
So that's why you really gotta look at it.
Right. A lot of those percentages are terrible, but when you look at it closer, we're higher than the state average in everything except science.
That's right.
So, I mean, I guess we need to.
Terrible for the
Science.
state, but we're better than most people in the state.
Yeah.
So you're going, so we're doing something right. But, so I wanted to bring that up. And then the last thing that I had was just to keep, about the summer rec program. We're still going to try to, we're trying to host that this coming summer. We'll have to, for us to be able to do it, we'll have to add some components for tutoring and things like that in it. We'll still need to go out and ask for help from the city and the mayor. So we're still gonna work on that. We're just trying to stay ahead of the game so we get a good program for this summer for our kids to have something to do. So that was all the information I wanna make sure to bring to y'all, that we're gonna continue, we'll hear more about this as we go on.
And you know how to work that with payroll so that teachers get credit towards their
Yes,
time.
if we do it through summer school, like, when we do it, of course, we have to pay the ERB and things like that, that gives them more. The summer gives them more, it helps them in their retirement. It really is a good deal for the teachers, because it adds more dates, that's gonna help them, so, we get more people helping that. So that is a good deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yes.
Add some.
When is that meeting, whenever, the county and the city and everybody gets together, what is that? Joint com. When is the next one of those? Chelsea, do you know?
I was not at the last one.
Cause that's where we went and asked, with Ray and Chelsea and me, and you were there too, Jenna, right, last year?
You remember when was
Yeah,
that, what
we
month
went
that
and
was?
asked.
They're all right there.
I believe they get together quarterly.
Cause we gotta get it on before they do their budget for the
Right.
next year. And we already told them that we're gonna need money for this coming year, but I really
They
think
have
that
to
we,
be asked every year.
no doubt, it has to be asked every
So I
year.
need
City
to
and
call,
the county.
who got called with that?
You can call the county treasurer, or the county manager,
Where was it held
What's her
last
name?
year?
Brandy.
Randy, I think I have her number, I'll send it to you right.
Please do, cause I'll call that first thing in the morning.
She's awesome and very, very helpful.
Okay.
Who's that?
Brandy,
She's moving,
And
isn't
then
she?
at the city, you need to talk to Farron.
Is she really?
She told me that the store.
well, that's usually, the way it all works.
Okay, good, I'll get
I don't
both of
know if
these
it's
calls
in this
tomorrow,
one.
the city tomorrow, and the county, and try to get on that.
Thank you. for
And so,
listening.
yeah, I wanna make sure we get a good program and get those things for those kids to do this summer.
It was super successful last year, I feel
Yeah.
like, if we could just keep growing it, get these kids active, keep them out of trouble.
Improving
Yes,
it,
have
making
some
it better,
June
better.
meals.
Oh, it was awesome.
I heard a lot of good things about it.
It's only safe place for kids.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Okay, we don't have any action items on our agenda. Does anyone have any items that they'd like to suggest for future meetings?
Can we talk about the bond stuff maybe next time?
Okay.
Just, I know that there's really no updates, but just to keep like the community involved and
Yes.
we all voted for it and are gonna pay for it, so maybe let's just start talking about that as we go to where.
We're starting, we put that on everyone, have a bond update,
And,
put that in our states.
Kim Legant called, me and she signed us up for the capital outlay funding, the other half of that, so, it's for $100,000 from, the Pat Woods and, Representative Chatfield, so she's gonna try to get the other side of that for Kaiser and Albus.
Very good.
We could potentially have 100,000 to spend.
That's
Very good.
my understanding.
So we might know after the
Yeah,
legislative
you might want to
session.
keep some of that on there all the time too.
Yeah, we can, so we can always update and see what's going on, so I think I'll put those on every one of them. Bond, to the,
Because that's gonna have to be decided pretty quick.
yes. Very good.
We're not gonna be here for it.
And old junior high demolition will be happening in the summer? No. Old junior high is just staying there.
Just a pimple on our,
Been there since 1976.
It's just gonna stay.
And that's what I'm working with, I guess I got PSFA upset because they sent us an email this week. I was in it, that they want all this documentation and I'm arguing, but that's getting that
we have to do.
preventive maintenance plan, that stopped. But I'm trying to work on that, try to get it demoed with some of it, the way they're doing it, looks like it's gonna be another something.
Wow.
But the funding's still there, the state says the funding, the $1 million for it, they're not going away, it's still earmarked, and Clayton's the only one for that. So our name is still on that funding for that, but I'm trying to get it done quicker. Tim was even in my office twice last week, and once this week, we work on that, trying, because they keep throwing some other stuff at us. And that's going to that meeting I went to last week, the PSFA person was there, and they have a new director that's under him. And I got to meet them face to face, and said, I need help with Clayton, because this is what's happening. So I made good connections, he said, and I emailed him yesterday, and I'll email him Thursday, because he wanted some other information, trying to get that ball rolling. We're trying to get them to come out here for our bond, too. But we've got everything in place, so we're in the line with the other 9, but I want them to come out here, it's just where they're focused. So very good, so we'll put that on the.
Anything
sure.
else?
Madam President, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
So we moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned at 6:12.
Ms. Lees and Mr. Trio, I got a